Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Ian. So I'm making a an analysis on some sets that I just recently did against a floor 10 player who was on his way to Celestial. Um, and I thought it was kind of an interesting development in my mindset as I was playing against this person. So let's take a peek. Now I stay very grounded in the beginning of this. My opponent stays very airborne, a lot of JS. Now, this is the first situation where I'm really questioning my opponent's ability. You know, the jumping is one thing, the whiffed special into a throw is the next one. So right here, whiff special into that throw. You know, it's very aggressive for this early in the game. He doesn't know my player habits. He's basically kind of forcing a situation onto me, which in one hand, it's a fighting game. That's what you're supposed to do, but it's very aggressive, and I find that a lot of players who are aggressive like this are players that do things, but they don't fully understand why they do things. We'll continue. I get mixed. You know, this is the next situation. Why is this opponent getting hit? It was no mix. Maybe there was a strike throw situation, kind of. But even in that situation, it's very risky to for me to run up and throw. You know, I would die if he punished me by doing that. So it's just another example, another like flag that kind of pops up into my mind. You know, why did you get hit? There was no mix up. You just kind of got hit, and that's something to think about. Counter pokes right away. It's another, it's another flag. Another whiff special. I thought that was a reasonable parry. So ballsy. So ballsy. So, in the last situation, this person got punished doing the special into the cancel. Let's see. I think it's actually right here. Right. This is that situation. It gets punished in between the big gap. Right. And then they go for this situation again. And then they challenge in between that gap. But it's not just that they challenged in between the gap, because, you know, there's a number of things that this person could have done. They could have just spaced out normals, which is not meter intensive, and it's, you know, safer than this if this doesn't work. But they spend bar to get invulnerability to specifically hard counter me challenging back then. And this is like the ultimate red flag. In a game, like a first game, this person is pulling out, you know, some of the hardest hard counters that you can have. And, you know, it's a red flag. I kept that a note. I blocked. I tried to go for a blue RC punish. I just get a YRC. Very sad. You know, this is the final situation of the first round. He goes into a counter poke after getting hit by a 2K. Once again, it's one of those situations. Can you blame this person for doing that? It worked. They won the round because they did this. But it's telling me information. This is a person who is counter poking frame one. As soon as they can, they're going to counter poke. And this is something that I can take advantage of. We go into round 2. Counter hit. Gets hit. Another counter hit. However, I get the big punish. I think at this point, I get impatient. I decide to start jumping. And this is a terrible mindset on my part. The triple jump, he knows that I'm going to come down. I don't think that he specifically tried to do that super. That seemed pretty random to me, but nonetheless, he convincingly takes 2 rounds. I get nothing, and we go into the next one. So the things that I'm focused on is that I think that this player is a layer 1 player. Meaning that as soon as I stop doing something, they want to start doing something. And if they're not doing something and I'm not doing something, they're going to start doing something. And this is abusable. We can take advantage of that fact. Counter poking into a big punish. The thing that's important to think about this situation right here, right? So, what does Baiken get if she hits me with 2P? She doesn't get a full combo. I don't know Baiken. She might get a combo into the special move, and that's about it. She gets a knockdown. She might get tether. Doesn't have enough meter for RC. But the risk for getting hit out of that 2P is a fat combo, and I get meter positive chip and a hard knockdown. It's really against their favor to do that. And then the same thing, safe jump into a counter hit. I didn't confirm into it, just because, but we continue. The next counter hit, because we know that they're trying to poke and challenge, the little delay catches that button. We've seen the whiff special a lot. We can throw in between that gap for an easy punish. Once again, it's not a counter hit, but why did they get hit? They just don't block. I assumed that the parry was going to come. Backdash 6H into hopefully a big punish. I drop the combo. Once again, not blocking, just gets hit. Come down with a button, they get 6P'd. $5K, pause, 5K, catches them pressing a button. Counter hit. I think he just kind of stopped playing. The final round. Same thing, we've seen that punish. Gets hit with the instant air dash. Nothing, there's no mix up. Just not blocking. I thought this was pretty good. Finally adapts to me throwing during the special whiff cancel. This is a good moment. This is like the high hopes. Is adapting. That's exactly what we want to see. Counter it, pressing a button. Huge combo. This is the deciding moment. You don't come back from this. I don't let you come back from this. Finally blocks. The parry is a response to my delayed buttons. But we got to think about what type of response that is. And it's a high risk response. If I just ran up and I didn't do a button, you died. You lost the game because of that parry. Now, you might win the game because of the parry, but at the same time, there's just such a high risk to high reward. It's something that you got to think about. And what if you just blocked? It would be your turn after my pressure ends, generally. Maybe not in this case because I have the meter positive, but generally, blocking is a great way to stay low risk. And also, you get a medium return. You get the ability to challenge when it's, your turn. But there's a lot of context to that, so we don't need to get into that. But, some adaptation that we're seeing, which is positive. Do I agree with the choices in this context? Probably not. That's my point. Easy finish to the round. Trying to counter bow coming down. I don't think if you do the overhead special that you have frame advantage if you're coming down like that. So, I mean, it's just another layer of like, he's doing things that are minus. I can take advantage of that. 6P, runs forward into button. We're seeing a little more varied offense structure. We're seeing the tatami come out for the first time. We're seeing some delays into button. These are all great things to see. He's making the adaptations, which I love to see that. Counter it. Punish. Whiff punish. Kind of a few scrambled hits to confirm. He's had it with me. This jabroni gets me good, but can't confirm into the combo, and then I get him on the whiff cancel into the what do you call it? The throw. You know, it's just kind of an interesting sequence. I really thought it was it's just kind of an interesting thing to kind of see how we can adapt to a player's habits, and especially with new players, I find that they want to do what they know works. But what works for them kind of happens to work on lesser skilled players. So, you know, as a self-proclaimed middle-level player, we have to have kind of these models that set us up so that we can beat players who just go into habit. They kind of autopilot into their offense. And this is the way that I worked on this player. Let me know what you guys think. It's kind of an unremarkable video, but it's kind of interesting to me anyways, and I like talking about this kind of analysis. So let me know what you guys think. Peace.